I would have never done all this. I know, I want to say this. I know I can be a good person. I know in my heart I'm a good person, but in my brain I'm stupid. Because if it weren't for this addiction, of course, why would I go to anyone? I've been doing a lot of bad things ever since I started streaming.
That's Twitch streamer Sliker, who is talking about his gambling addiction after it was revealed that he had actually stolen literally hundreds of thousands of dollars from his own viewers on his Twitch stream to pay for his gambling addiction. But Sliker's actions actually led to Twitch banning gambling on their platform. And that was just announced today, where they say that gambling content on Twitch has been a big topic of discussion in the community and something we've been actively reviewing since our last policy update in the area. And later they say, today we want to update you on our plans while we prohibit sharing links or referral codes to all sites that include slots, roulette, or dice games. We've seen some people circumvent those rules and expose our community to potential harm, and they're essentially going to deal with that harm and prevent the gambling from taking place on their platform, which was what Sliker was doing and what allowed him to essentially steal hundreds of thousands of dollars from his own viewers. Now, there are more details to this story, Cenk. Your nephew, actually, Haas, was very much in favor of the platform banning gambling. I don't know if I have a strong opinion on it. I actually have some questions that I want to ask, but before I do, why don't you chime in?
Yeah, me too. So apparently Sliker took money from his audience, but also from other streamers. And so that's why Hasan Piker is was part of TYT here, and now is one of the largest streamers on Twitch. And another large streamer, they actually kind of, in a sense, confronted him, from what I understand, and got him help and got him to admit what he was doing. And then that led to them leading a campaign to stop gambling on Twitch. So that's activism. It was effective activism, so I love that part of it. In terms of putting gambling on Twitch, I am a little conflicted on it. I think that, so I gamble, but it's easy for me to say because I don't have a problem, right? And in the past I have once, back when I was in Miami about 20 years ago, I used to gamble too much. And so I understand that perspective, but I also didn't need to go to rehab or anything like that. So I come at it from a little point of privilege in that I didn't have an addiction problem I couldn't kick, right? So everybody reacts differently, and that's a really important part of the gambling issue, because you might not get addicted by watching certain things, but other people watching those slot channels might, and it's all a matter of percentages. So, but on the other hand, I wouldn't want anybody banning like sports gambling advice. Hey, take the Titans with the over, etc. Because I view that as just like they're not showing you gambling and people winning, and oh my God, that feeds your addiction. But others might say, yeah, it does. But I definitely wouldn't do that because I think that goes too far into impinging on free speech, etc. So it's a tough issue.
Yeah, I guess the way that I think about it is we're constantly surrounded with temptations, right? So if you're predisposed to an addiction, whether it be a drug addiction or in this case, a gambling addiction, well, yeah, this platform allowing that gambling to take place puts you at risk. At the same time though, do you completely overhaul your policies to accommodate a small group of people who have an addiction? And I'm not saying I'm against what Twitch is doing. I'm just asking the question, right?
Well, look, take it one step further. If Twitch is causing a problem in doing that, aren't the casinos causing a bigger problem? And they're perfectly legal. And so,
yeah.
And a lot of people have alcohol addiction, but we still have bars. And so can you do a show from a bar? Can you do a show while drinking a beer? Can you do a show where you're constantly drinking? So where's the line? I don't think it's an easy question at all.
Yeah, I agree. And again, I just think it's a little more complicated than ban or don't ban. I again do not have a problem with Twitch making this decision. I can tell that they're doing it to respond to their streamers, which is actually a great thing. I like to see that kind of interaction between the platform and the actual streamers. And if there was an overwhelming number of streamers, including someone like Haas, who's one of the top streamers on Twitch, calling for this, I'm really glad that they were responsive to it. And obviously, I don't want to make it easier for people to fall victim to whatever their addiction might be. With that said, though, yeah, where do you draw the line? It is a little more complicated than that, and I don't know where that line would be. But if this is the right decision for Twitch and for the streamers, God bless.
Yeah, look, I think they probably did draw it at the right place, as hard as it is, because so I don't want to ban casinos. I don't want to ban online gambling. I do it, and not everybody gets addicted, so you can't take away something that people enjoy, and that just because some percentage get addicted. Otherwise, again, alcohol would be banned and many other things would be banned. And I think that people talking about gambling is not a problem. Here, they were just showing, apparently they were just showing nonstop gambling. And when you have just showing gambling and people winning,
yeah,
I can see how that crosses a line.
It's it's propaganda meant to honestly make you think that gambling is all hunky-dory, like without really highlighting the significant negative. So I want to give you one quick account, okay? And one person who got sucked into the whole gambling world on Twitch. Let's go to the last graphic here. I discovered online gambling on stake.com last year in May from Twitch streamers that I am a massive fan of and still watch every day. Then I discovered online gambling. I started small and won big. I won $40,000. This was amazing to me, and I thought it was nearly too good to be true. That same day, I lost it. I lost it very, very fast. And then I pulled more money out of my bank account to chase that loss until my bank account itself reached zero. And so I think stories like that are really important to learn about, take into account. And if the platform is causing damage to people's lives, especially damage that drains all of their resources, I like that they're responsive to calls to do something about it.
Yeah, look, that was very close to what happened to me 20 years ago. And so there's no question there's a downside. If you're gonna get into anything that can lead to addiction, be super careful, right? Having said that, we do have to let people be who they are. And so I would not be in favor of banning gambling because it sometimes leads to that. But it definitely sometimes leads to that. So please be careful.
You mean banning you're okay with them banning gambling on Twitch, but you mean like banning gambling, period, online gambling.
Yeah, or even talk of online gambling. But here it just looks like they're showing people win as if like that's the only thing that happens. If afterwards they showed people in misery, in fetal position after they lost all their money, I'd say, well, okay, then that's a balanced look at gambling.
Isn't like a huge chunk of our economy based on gambling?
Oh, you mean the stock market?
Yeah, I mean that's what the stock market is. You gamble.
Crypto, I mean.
Yeah, like that's the other thing. I mean, that is the basis, the foundation of our economy.
You know, funny enough, if you put CNBC on Twitch, Twitch might have to ban it.
100%. That's all they talk about.
Yeah, they're like, oh, which stocks are up, which ones are down, who's losing money, who's winning money, right? Well, it's just a giant gambling channel.
Yeah,
that's what CNBC is.
It's the kind of gambling that's not frowned upon.
No, as long as you do it with a tie on, it's totally okay.
Exactly.